Have you ever walked into a new office and instantly you can just tell, like you can just feel it in the atmosphere if the company culture is good or a total nightmare?
Oh yeah, it's like a sixth sense almost. Everyone's got it. And you know what? It can seriously make or break a company. You asked for a deep dive on this organizational culture assessment, this 200 question beast.
Oh yeah, I did. 200 questions. That's serious business.
It gets into everything, all the little things that make company culture work or not work.
All right, so you're saying there's like a formula to figure out this whole culture thing. I'm listening.
Think of it this way. This assessment breaks it all down into 10 key dimensions. Like a toolkit, use it to analyze any organization. Doesn't matter if it's a huge company or the corner store.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Hit me with these dimensions. What are we talking about here?
All right, so one of them is leadership style. Are the leaders, are they supportive, inspiring, or do they rule by fear?
Important question. I've definitely been there.
Right. And that's what this assessment helps figure out. You've also got communication, how freely information flows. Can people speak their minds? Or is it like...
Oh man, communication. Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
I had this one job, and let me tell you, trying to get information from my boss, it was like, well, let's just say good luck at that.
Exactly. And that's what this assessment helps uncover. We've also got dimensions like employee engagement and satisfaction, customer focus, adaptability, and change management.
Whoa, slow down. I'm trying to take notes here. This is like a masterclass in company culture.
And the best part, this assessment uses something called a Likert scale to measure all these dimensions. You've seen those, right? Strongly agree to strongly disagree.
Oh yeah, the Likert scale. I've taken a million online quizzes, but I never thought about them for like a serious assessment.
They're all about standardization. 1 means strongly disagree, 5 means strongly agree, and then you've got your neutral options in between. So you can actually compare responses from like different teams and make sense of it all.
Okay, so let me get this straight. If I'm looking at these results and I see a bunch of low scores, like 1s and 2s, under leadership style, that's a bad sign, right?
Ding, ding, ding. We've got a winner. Low scores usually mean there's something that needs attention. But here's where it gets really interesting. This assessment doesn't just stop at the numbers. It's big on open-ended questions too.
So it's not just about checking boxes. You're saying it's about really understanding what's going on. Right. Tell me more.
Imagine you get a bad score on that communication dimension we talked about. An open-ended question would be something like, what could we do to improve communication around here? That's where you get the good stuff. Not just the what, but the why.
It's like the difference between seeing a bad grade on a test and actually talking to the teacher to figure out where you went wrong. Numbers are a start, but the story behind them, that's the good stuff.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that the PDF doesn't just focus on asking the right questions. It also stresses the importance of using the assessment effectively. It's like it gives you this set of guiding principles.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about, actionable advice. Hit me with it. What are these guiding principles?
So one of the most important things is anonymity. People have to feel safe to answer honestly, right? Otherwise, the whole thing is pointless.
Totally. I remember filling out these surveys at my old job.
Yeah.
Terrified to say what I really thought.
Yeah, you can't get good data that way. So anonymity is number 1. Then you've got the pilot program, testing it out with a smaller group first.
Like a trial run, work out the kinks.
Exactly. Make sure the questions make sense. See if the language works for everyone. And you might even spot some blind spots in the questions themselves,
Smart. Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Right. So anonymity, pilot program. What else is in this treasure chest of wisdom?
Okay, this is the big one, the follow-up. Don't just collect all this data and then nothing.
Yeah, what's the point of the whole thing if you don't do anything with the results?
Right. Analyze it, share it, but anonymously, obviously. And then, this is key, make a plan to actually fix the problems.
Oh, I am all about actionable advice. Now, I know we're just scratching the surface here, but come on, give me some examples. What are some of the questions from this PDF?
All right, I'll give you a sneak peek. Let's see. Okay, customer focus. One question is, employees understand the importance of customer service to the organization's success. Sounds simple, right?
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. I work at this one place. Oh man, they did not care about customer complaints. Until they lost their biggest client, of course. Then suddenly customer service was important.
It's amazing how many companies don't get it. But then you have other companies where customer feedback is everything. They're always asking for it, analyzing it, actually using it to make things better. Those companies, they get it.
Those are the good ones. It's like the difference between saying you care and actually showing it, right? So what other juicy questions does this thing ask?
Let's see. How about teamwork and collaboration? This one's good. Employees effectively collaborate across departments and teams.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that ties into the whole customer service thing.
Yeah.
If sales doesn't tell marketing about a problem and marketing doesn't tell customer support, chaos.
Exactly. Each one of these dimensions, it's like a piece of the puzzle. You put them together and bam, you see the whole picture.
Love that analogy. Speaking of puzzles, adaptability, right?
Yeah.
How well can a company roll with the punches?
You got it. That's adaptability and change management. One question I thought was interesting was, the organization effectively responds to and manages changes in the market.
Oh, that is so important nowadays. Things change so fast, some companies are just like dinosaurs.
It's true. Adapt or die, right? And this one goes along with that. employees are comfortable with and adaptable to new changes and technologies. Because if you give someone the latest tech and they're too scared to use it...
It's like giving someone a Ferrari and they're too scared to drive over the speed limit. What's the point? Okay, this is good stuff. What else? What else?
All right. Let's talk about integrity and ethics.
Ooh, yeah. Now we're getting to the good stuff. This is where we see which companies are actually living their values, not just talking about it. Hit me with a question. I'm ready.
All right, so one question that gets right to it is, employees are expected to and feel comfortable reporting unethical behavior.
Okay, yeah, that's huge. Because if no one feels safe to say something, then what's the point of even having all those policies, right?
Exactly. It's like having a fire alarm that doesn't work. And that's what I love about this assessment. It doesn't just measure the culture, it gives you the tools to actually navigate it.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. But here's the thing. How do we actually use all this? To make a difference, I mean.
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the great news is, this deep dive, it's not over yet. We've got a lot more to talk about.
Hit me with it. I am so ready.
Because understanding a company's culture, it's not just about observing it. It's about realizing that you have the power to actually shape it.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Because who hasn't worked somewhere and thought, this policy is ridiculous, or we do what?
We've all been there. But instead of just complaining, you can use this knowledge to actually make a difference.
So understanding the 10 dimensions, that's like step 1. And then step 2 is using what you know to make things better. Tell me more.
Exactly. Let's say you're really passionate about diversity and inclusion. You can use this assessment to see where your company stands and then figure out what needs to change.
So if I notice my company gets a bad score on diversity, I don't just give up, I get to work.
Yes. You could suggest diversity training or try to make hiring practices more inclusive. Even just starting a conversation about unconscious bias, that's huge.
I love it. It's like, you're not just an employee, you're a company culture ninja, working behind the scenes to make things better.
And the best part, you don't need to be the CEO to make a difference. Little things can have a big impact.
Give me an example. What could someone who's just starting their career, what could they do?
Imagine you're brand new. You notice that communication is really bad. Just start asking questions. Suggest better ways to share information. Even volunteering to take notes in meetings, that helps.
See? Small actions, big impact. Just because you're new doesn't mean you don't have good ideas.
Exactly. And that brings me to my final thought for you today. As you go about your day, think about this. How can you, no matter what your job is, how can you help build a better company culture?
Ooh, I like that. It's like a challenge. And it reminds us that company culture isn't set in stone, right? We all play a part. This has been amazing. Seriously, who knew that talking about organizational culture could be so insightful?
I told you, it's all about asking the right questions, keeping your eyes open, and then, most importantly, doing something about it.
So, to everyone listening, we challenge you. Take what you learned today and put it into action. Make your workplace better. Because a good job, it's not just about the work, it's about the people, the values, the whole vibe. And on that note, until next time on The Deep Dive.